What's up, everybody? Hey, yes. Justin and Christopher. What's going on, my brother? How are you, Christopher?
Hey, doing good. So I'm gonna share this out on my. So I'm gonna share this to. I'm gonna put here. Watch live, sharing now. Okay, I just shared. So
It's
we're
out
rocking
there.
and rolling.
It's time, my good friend. It's been a few weeks, a few months since we've been putting this plan together, and I don't even remember how it all started. Do you remember? I know there was a phone call. I reached out to you and I said, "Hey, Christopher, I have an idea. I want to run by you." Do you remember how that went?
You know, my phone rang anytime Justin Benson calls. I'm like, doesn't matter what I'm doing. Well, I guess there'd be a couple things that I probably, if I'm doing something with the family, my wife will look down and be like, no. But yeah, my phone rings. It's Justin Benson. And he says, Christopher, I want to pick your brain for a second. I'm thinking about doing something. And you and I and you, whatever the right grammar is, I'm sorry, I'm completely, but we speak the same love language. Well, I won't call it love language. We speak the same language as far as showing gratitude and thinking of others and just doing things for other people and serving other people. And so Justin's like, Christopher, I got this great idea. I want to help people get their dream one. I want people to get their number one contact, their number one connection they want to go after. And I want you to be a part of this. And we're going to work on this together. And I'm like, you had me at hello.
Well, it was funny too because I remember having this epiphany. And for those of you that have followed my journey in the last 6 months or 12 months or whatever, I mean, really, the whole thing started back in March of 2020. The whole world changed. What's up, Eric? What's up, Darlene? What's up? And so it all changed for all of us in March of 2020. And that's how Christopher and I met. We met in Clubhouse, which was a fun ride when that thing was rocking and rolling. And I reached out to Christopher because I was like, here it is. We're doing all these amazing things. And, for those of that have been following kind of what's been going on with Russell Brunson and the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And I said, Christopher, I said, it's just been so magical how everything has fallen into place and how I'm just the right person at the right time. And I literally felt, Napoleon Hill was guiding us. But I said, I think I can do this. I know I can do this for other people. And it has been such a joyride that I was like, I want to reach out. So I reached out to Christopher and I said, Christopher, I know you're the perfect person because you've got the Return on Relationship University. You do this already. And what I reached out for Christopher was, I said, look, I know I'm going to be sending you a lot of business. So are you ready to scale? And then Christopher got so excited. He goes, I'll one up you. Not only am I ready for the business and ready to scale, bring it on, but I want to do something with you. I'm so excited by this idea that you're going to help other people find their dream one and identify who that dream one is and make that connection that I want to do it with you. And I said, well, awesome. Let's do it. Because we obviously are cut from the same cloth, truly. And that was about 6 weeks ago, roughly. I don't remember the timelines.
Yep,
and
short.
So, yeah. And so here we are. We are coming out with a big announcement. We are going to put together a masterclass. We've been working behind the scenes and our teams and all that kind of fun stuff. And we are going to teach what we know, which is a lot. And a lot of people, it's one thing to know what we did and teach the stories of what we've done and all the success. But we also want to actually give you, not only teach you, so if you can learn with it and run with it, God bless you, and we'll clap you all the way and support you. But a lot of people might understand it, but don't know how to do it. So maybe let's talk a little bit about just a little teaser of what they can expect to learn from us in this 4-hour masterclass called One Connection Away. Get it? One funnel away. OneConnectionAway.com. You can get signed up. Right now it's free. It will not be free much longer. It's in ClickFunnels 2.0, and we haven't figured out how to get all the merchant accounts and everything set up. It is in 2.0, but as soon as we get those merchant accounts connected, it's going to cost money. So go get signed up. It's free right now. But yeah, maybe Christopher, give them a little tease of some of the amazing connections and things that you've done with the Return on Relationship University. I know there's just so many incredible stories.
Well, some of you that are watching this live or on the replay, familiar with a movie called Hitch. And I love this movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it tonight and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'll explain it enough so you understand. There's a guy by the name of Alex Hitchens, and he was the gentleman that would connect guys up with their dream dates. These are the people that it's like there was this geeky accountant named Albert Brenneman, and Albert was madly in love with a woman by the name of Allegra Cole. And so he went to Hitch, as he was known as, and said, I'm madly in love with this person. Would you help me get the attention of this individual so that we can develop a relationship? And what was difficult was Albert was kind of out of Allegra's league. I mean, she was this billionaire, inherited all this money, and everybody wanted her attention. And that's the key thing is everybody wanted her attention. All these other guys and all these people were like, they wanted to snuggie up to Allegra Cole because of her wealth and her power and her beauty. And Albert was mad in love with her. So Hitch helped Albert get the attention of Allegra Cole and got her to turn her head to Albert and notice him, and opened up the opportunity for them to establish a relationship. And so what we want to teach is we want to teach people that shock and awe, that teachable ability to be able to get an influencer's attention, or whoever that one connection that you're trying to make, that dream connection that you're trying to build a relationship with, because in the long run, that's going to benefit your life. It's going to benefit your business. And so we're going to teach you how to get noticed by these individuals, how to get them to recognize you, not that you want something, but that you want to serve them. You want to express gratitude to them, and you want to let them know how grateful you are for them. And they're going to, in turn, through reciprocity, they're going to want to help and serve you. And that's a beautiful thing about it, Justin, is people are wired within their DNA to return favors. And I know you're going to talk about this and some of the things that you've been working on that absolutely, like some of the stories that you've told me, like have blown my mind. And I do this every single day. And when you were telling me some of the stuff, I'm like, oh my word, this is absolutely amazing. But if everything in life and business swings on hinges, and those little hinges move big doors, and those little pieces of metal that help swing that door, everything in life and business swings on hinges, and those hinges we call relationships. And so if you can establish those key relationships, you can swing the door open to success and opportunity beyond your mind can imagine.
Well, and that's the thing too, that and you've got so many incredible stories, and you were the beginning part of my journey. And for those of you that don't know what Dream One is or Dream 100 is, a quick little synapse is originally the first time I'd ever come across it. Synopsis is with Chet Holmes and the Ultimate Sales Machine, which his daughter Amanda just re-released her copy and her new chapter, and which is awesome. And so the first time I ever heard about it, and she might show up, we'll see. And for the masterclass. So the first time I ever read it was 100, your Dream 100 whales, your biggest clients. Her dad, Chet, wanted, he was in the magazine company industry, and he wanted the more advertising clients, and they were the bottom of the division. And he made a list of like 100, and he sent them a bunch of mail, and he reached out and he called and he went to conferences and he did all this, not everything. And he got crickets for 3 or 4 months. And then, like most people might give up, but he didn't give up. He stuck to his guns, and literally like the next month, 3 feet from gold, the clients started calling and reaching back and loved the gifts and loved the ingenuity to get those connections. And he signed like 38 of them and went from the worst in the division to the worst in their rankings to the top. And that was Charlie Munger's company, who's a partner of Warren Buffett. And so that was the first time I ever heard of Dream 100. And as a natural born sales guy, I knew what the Dream 100 was, and we had our whale list, and that's what I knew. But then along came this guy who grew up in Utah and went to school in Idaho, named Russell Brunson, a wrestler, I believe. And he was the first person I had ever come across who came across the idea of Dream 100, that there's 100 people out there that have already amassed or collected your Dream 100 audiences. And it can go even further than that, like Dream 100 blogs, Dream 100 podcasts, Dream 100 Facebook groups. It can go on, but let's just say Dream 100 audiences. And for him, it was Tony Robbins. And so he served Tony Robbins, and he booked funnels. And anytime Tony called, Russell stopped what he was doing and hopped on a plane. And so when I read Traffic Secrets in March of 2020, when it first came out, when the whole world stopped spinning and I had to figure out how to shift my physical businesses, my physical retail stores to online businesses. When I read Dream 100 from Russell in Traffic Secrets, I was like, dude, that's incredible, mind blowing. And so I had to make my list, right? Do as Russell says. I actually say do as Russell does, hashtag. But so do as he does. You make your list. What are my 100 audience? Who has already collected them? Is it Martha Stewart? Who are they? And so for me, Poetic Justice, I put Russell at top. I was like, well, he's the guy that taught it to me. So how fun would it be to put him on the top of the list because he's teaching me all these amazing things. And then Christopher and I had met in Clubhouse, and we were kind of talking back and forth. And then I get a phone call from Christopher, and Christopher's like, "Hey, I got an idea." And as Christopher likes to say, I'm noodling on something. And
That's right.
I got an idea for Russell. And if you want to share the idea that you had.
Well, everyone, these are some of the things we're going to teach. Like you want to be different than everybody else. And the best way to be authentic is to be unique and be different from everyone else. And so Justin's like, I told Justin, I got an idea. So Russell loves, we're going down a little. Okay. So Russell loves everyone. I mean, people know that Russell loves avocados. And, if you're in this community that we're in and you don't know that Russell likes that, then it's kind of like, okay, maybe you don't follow or know Russell enough, and so let's send him, let's not send him avocados. Let's send him, well, we eventually did, but I'm like, send him an avocado tree that he can have in his home and he can grow his own avocados year round and pull them off the tree. Cause you can do this. And, we did the research and like, you can have this tree in your house and you can grow avocados and you got fresh avocados, and how cool of an idea it is. And I bet he doesn't have one of those. And Justin's like, that's a cool idea. I love it. But you know what? I can take this to the next level. And then Justin said,
well, I'm looking at my avocados in my front yard. I said, well, here's a cool thing. I've already got the best avocados on the planet. Russell calls them the wonderful tiny avocados. They're not the biggest, but they're the best. And so I said, let's just send him some of the world's best avocados from California and from my front yard. And so, and Christopher's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And so Christopher helped like package it and make it. He's got this whole crew and team that like designed everything and like makes everything perfect. Doesn't just throw it in a bag like a lot of us guys do. And so he does this great thing, and then he gets it over there, and we were going to overnight him. I forget why. And then
I'll tell you why. I remember. So we were like, well, let's send him avocados he can eat later, and let's send him avocados he can eat right away. So you pulled fresh ones right off the tree, and then you picked some ones that weren't so ripe, and we sent them overnight because we didn't want them sitting and then opening up this box full of fruit flies and bugs and rotten avocados. So sending that many avocados, there was a little bit of a price tag in overnighting that much weight to
$500 for free avocados, but it was worth it.
So when he opened it up, it's like, I got avocados. And what was the cool thing is you could say, I hand picked these myself yesterday, and you can eat the ones. So Justin said, we have a fulfillment team that helps with gifting and sending things out to people that the craft that we've honed here. And there's a specific way you want to do it. Like Justin said, you just want to throw everything in a box and send it. There's a way. Presentation is important. I mean, when you go out to eat and they present your food, it's all about the presentation and the taste. So anyway, the ones on the right, you could eat right away, and the ones on the left, were edible later. And so I remember the box that you sent to me. There was a whole ton of avocados in that box, and we sent all of those to Russell. You did.
Well, and that was the beginning of that was the introduction. And this was before Inner Circle was open. And this was really before Russell knew who I was. So that was really my first like real, like, hey, I'm paying attention. That he was about the time back in the day, he would eat avocado bombs, which means he would open up an avocado, put I think MCT oil, which it should be hemp seed oil. He's been hearing a lot about hemp from me lately, but he would put MCT oil in the pit and eat the whole thing. It's like the perfect protein. Avocados are great. And he would do it like every day. And I think I was talking to Miles about it. And he's like, yeah, I was the one that had to do all the peeling and all that stuff. And so anyway, so that was the gift. And I even sent him a Cutco knife that had an engraved avocado bomb, which is another little nice trick. Right. That's a writer downer there, folks. You want to get someone's attention. You can go to Cutco.com and get an engraving on some of the knives for like an extra $5. So a nice knife for maybe $75 with an engraving, and they send it a nice job and a gift. And I sent him another one of those gifts. So as you can tell, Christopher and I, we're on the same page. And so we think alike. And this was probably 2 years ago, roughly, maybe 18 months ago, that began my journey of really turning Russell's head to saying, hey, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you taught me with the Dream 100. And so now I'm going to find ways to anticipate and give you things that, because people like Russell and a lot of us that are fortunate enough to have worked hard enough and can basically buy ourselves whatever we want. In fact, today's my birthday, and it's really hard to shop for someone like me on your birthday, I'm told. But when you can anticipate and think of something that will have an emotional connection, that will make them remember you, because you actually took the time. And the avocados, let's say they were free, because they were. They overnight, it cost a little bit more, but I took the time, and Christopher took the time to think it through and to really start off that relationship with such an emotional connection.
And with Russell, one of the great stories that he told when he spoke at my Return on Relationships Symposium about how long he spent trying to get Tony's attention and serving him and building a relationship with Tony. It was a decade. It was a decade. I mean, Russell said it took about a decade of serving Tony and doing things for him and showing gratitude and reaching out to him. And finally, that one thing turned, and then the opportunity came. And then now you see Russell and Tony are working on projects together, and they're doing things together. And so it all starts somewhere. And when I was talking to Russell one time, I was like, hey, I wish you would have known me 10 years ago, because it wouldn't have taken you 10 years to get Tony's attention. And that's why Justin and I are doing what we're doing, because it won't take 10 years. If Oprah Winfrey or just, it doesn't matter who that person is that you feel is that one connection away for you, it's not going to take you a decade. Justin and I are going to teach you. We're going to teach you through the ROR method and tactics of Justin and things. We're going to be intentional about this. We're not going to guess. There's a process. Justin said we're going to teach them things. If you do this, this, and this, we're going to guarantee you that you're going to get the attention of this individual. If you do this, this, and this, you're going to turn them off, and they're not going to want anything to do with you. And so that's the thing, is don't be like the other people. We're going to teach you how to do it and the best way to do it. And it won't take you a decade to get the attention of maybe Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Maybe you're a female influencer out there and you've got a podcast and you want to collaborate with Sarah Blakely. Well, she's a billionaire philanthropist now. How would you get her attention? Well, you know what? There's ways that you can do it, and it won't take you 10 years. It could take you a month. It could take you less than that. And those are the things that we're going to teach.
Absolutely. And if you sit there and think, like, the first thing you need to do is go over to oneconnectionaway.com and sign up, because it's a free masterclass. We're giving away all of our secrets. We're crazy. We just, we're givers. What can we say? Big hearts.
Yes.
So we'll get signed up. And then the next thing you do after you get signed up, it's next Wednesday at 4:00 Pacific, 7 Eastern, yep. Wednesday the 16th, is to make your list 1, 2, or 3, or just one. Like, who's the one, right? Who's the one that if you sat in a room and you had an opportunity that you guys had developed some type of relationship, and that they could look you in the eye and say, tell me what you do, or tell me your story. And I fortunately got that exact moment happen for me while I was on a private plane that I had helped coordinate through Eric Sorensen, who was watching earlier, who's also a pilot from the Inner Circle, which was awesome that we were able to get hooked up with this private plane, and which was part of the networking, part of the Dream One. And we were sitting there flying to the Napoleon Hill Foundation in the middle of the night. Russell doesn't sleep. And we were just sitting there talking, and I'm, across the way from Russell, and he looks me right in the eye and he says, Justin, I want to hear your story from you. And that was 18 months in the process. And he knew what I did and things like that. But at that moment, he wanted to know what I did. He genuinely wanted to know, what was it that I did, and what do I do? What's my story? And that's all any of us could ever ask for, is to have that moment. If it's Tony Robbins, if it's Oprah Winfrey, if it's Warren Buffett, if it's whoever it is, Joe Rogan, if there's that person out there that you know in your heart, if I could just have a real conversation with them, and they're interested in me because I was able to develop a relationship with them, what would that mean to your business? What would that mean to your life? We all know that one person, and a lot of people, you can see how their businesses were going okay, and then something happened, and it was a connection. And quite frankly, the only reason I know Russell is because of Tony. I was in Tony's world, and Tony and Dean were launching this thing called Mastermind, and Russell was sitting right in the middle of them, and he talked about how he was there to help people, get in touch with or contact the people they were called to serve, and that just struck me so right in the heart. And I was like, "That's my dude." You know what I mean? And that's because Russell put in 10 years to get in that seat. Now, he also spent $600,000 on mastermind.com and gifted it to them to be a partner. Smart. But again, these are the kinds of things that we're going to teach you. So within weeks or months, you can have these connections, these relationships, and have that look from your dream one to say, tell me your story.
Or a call. Those of you who are watching never heard of a name called Mark Victor Hansen. Wrote a little book called Chicken Soup for the Soul, in addition to 350 other books. And my phone rang one day and it said California. It was a California call. I don't know. The phone must have been number most routed through. I don't know, but I didn't recognize the number. And I kind of answered it like, "Oh, this is spam." Hello. And it's like, "Hello, looking for Christopher Voss. This is Mark Victor Hansen." And I'm like, so I'm like, "Hey, Mark, how you doing?" So what? And he said, first he thanked me for something that I had done for him. The gratitude, just like we're talking about. I generally was just expressing love and gratitude for the influence he's been in I just read his book, Ask, and it changed my life. Like, just totally altered the direction of how he's doing business, and I wanted to thank him for it. So I thanked him for it, and I did it in a way that he looked for my phone number. I don't know how he got my phone number. I know how to get people's phone numbers and information, and we're going to teach a little bit of that. But he got my number and called me. And Justin, he said the same exact thing. "Christopher, thank you so much." Some other thank yous. And then he said the magic words, "Christopher, tell me what you do." And I'm like, this is an amazing opportunity. And then one step further, and this is why you're one connection away. Here's what Mark told me. As we're wrapping up the phone call, I asked him to speak at my symposium, and he said, "Who else do you have speaking at your symposium?" And I missed some names. And he said, "Christopher, I want you to think of people bigger than me, people that are bigger than Mark Victor Hansen." And he goes, "There's lots of them."
Giants, or what are we talking about here?
A humble guy. I mean, he's like, "There's people bigger than me." And he goes, "I want you to think of any of these people, and I want you to call them. And if you need their information, I can help you get their information. I can give you their phone numbers if I have it, or if you have them, just call them and ask them to help you with whatever you're working with. And when they say why, say, because Mark Victor Hansen said you should." And that one connection, that one relationship with Mark Victor Hansen opened up the doors of opportunity to reach a lot of other people. So you were literally one connection away. And so Mark Victor Hansen would come on here and say, "I never felt like Christopher wanted something, and I was willing to do whatever I can for him, and I was willing to learn about what he had to do." So that one connection. So I did that, and I did reach out to some people, and I did tell them that. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to say, "So-and-so said for me to reach out to you." So you literally are one connection away. And that's my story I want to share tonight.
So what was the total window from gift sent, or how about idea of gift to gift sent to phone call saying, "Tell me what you do"? What was the window?
Window's about 30 days, about one month, because Mark was on an interview and I sent something to him before he even got off the interview. It was at his doorstep. And then I did something else as a follow-up after I had read. So he was interviewing about his book. And then I read the book. And then I reached out and said, "This book changed my life. Thank you so much." And then I sent him something really significant. And maybe we'll tell her. So you know what we'll do? How about this, Justin? I'll
Tease.
share with people in the masterclass what it was that I sent him first, when I sent him the second time. And when you guys find out what I sent the second time, you'll understand why he found my phone number and he called me. But yeah, to answer your question, it was about 30 days. So it doesn't matter how big they are. It doesn't matter who it is. If you do it right and you do it with the right intention, you'll have success and you'll get that one connection. I guarantee it.
Yep, and you've seen it over and over, and I've seen it over and over, and we want to help because and obviously we're extroverts. We like to talk. I call ourselves chatty Cathy's. So we're and you know we were booking some people to be keynotes, and it was like, well, you know, we could have this person, this person, this person. It's like, well, we can't have too many people because you know Christopher and I can fill up 4 hours in a heartbeat, and we've got lots of stories and lots of secrets to share. But you know, at the end of the day, I really want to teach people how they can do it themselves if they're a hands-on kind of person, or if they've tried for years or they just cannot figure it out. We want to actually kind of show you. And if you're just kind of like, well, it's not for me, because it comes down to time and money. Like for me, it took 18 months for Russell, more or less, for him and I to have that connection where we're flying on private planes together, right? For Christopher, it took 30 days. And there's others that can take weeks. And then you can find someone who we're going to have come and join us, Ken Walls, who I call Kevin Bacon. It's a joke because, 6 degrees of separation, because he knows everybody. And then you can find those people that are connectors, and they're a part of your world. And if you could find someone, then you develop a genuine relationship. And part of those genuine relationships come with showing up at events. And here's a crazy thing. Like Christopher and I have known each other for going on 3 years. We've never seen each other in the physical world. How crazy is that? I got a bear hug coming, I know. But
it was during the pandemic that we met each other. I haven't been able to hug this guy, ladies and gentlemen. And I told him, you're warned. When that does happen, it's going to be an awkward, long squeeze. It's gonna be a couple minutes. I just want to warn you.
And that's the thing that this new, since March of 2020, all the rules changed.
Yep.
I'm a little old school. Christopher's a little old school, but the rules have changed because of things like Clubhouse, and you were able to get access to people that you could not have access to. And now look how many more people are on Facebook. Look how many more people you can actually reach and touch on Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger. Like you can actually, the games have all changed because now we're all here. I wasn't here before March of 2020. I was in the physical world. I was doing my thing. I was showing up at conferences. I was glad handing, doing it old school. And I was good at it, and I am good at it. And it still applies in the world now that we're back online, no pun intended, but that we're back to kind of whatever normal is, this new normal. But we have so many things that we can teach you. And we want to get these connections going, because if that one connection gets you to your business, your mission, your impact, and it just blows it up, how cool is that? And if that's something that we could do or show you how to do in 30 days, that's why we're doing this masterclass.
And, people are waiting, and there's a lot of false beliefs that say, oh, they're not going to respond to me. They're going to think I want something. Everyone reaches out to this person, and, they're not going to give me the time of day. But I'm going to tell you that that's not true. They will give you the time of day. They will give you the attention. They will look at you. It is completely possible. It's just how you show up in someone's life. How you show up in their life is what's key. And Justin, you mentioned earlier, them thinking about and having an emotional response. That's the key thing. If you create an emotional response in them, something that they'll never forget. When you get a message from someone where they're in tears, saying, Christopher, I received what you sent me, and thank you so much. And every single time I walk into my office, I think of you because I stare at that thing you sent me, and it just moved me. If you can move somebody, it's like people say that, well, they know what we're up to. But when I was dating my wife, every single nice thing I did for her, she knew what my intentions were, but she never was offended because my heart was in the right place. And the way that I did it and the way I showed up didn't make her feel like I wanted something or I was being selfish. And then when you pop the question and say, will you marry me? She definitely said yes. And that's the key thing. How can you prepare someone? How can you serve them? How can you get them ready so that opportunity can come? And I just want to say one last thing. Return on relationship and relationship building and having a network. The reason I'm so passionate about it, those of you that don't know me, those of you that do know me know what I'm going to say about this. And Justin, I'm going to do it without crying because I'm going to pinch my leg. I would not be on this Facebook Live. I never would have met Justin in Clubhouse, and we wouldn't be doing One Connection Away if it wasn't for a relationship. I would be dead. A relationship saved my life. One relationship put me into a program that got me healthy so that when I had my stroke, I survived it. And if I wouldn't have gotten healthy, if I wouldn't have been in that health and wellness program, his name is Wallace Nelson. And the cool thing about it, I'm going to give a plug. Wallace Nelson has a program called Vitavore, and he just relaunched it, and it's absolutely incredible. So Vitavore, Wallace Nelson, look him up on Facebook. He just started it, but he put me in his program, and Justin, he didn't charge me, and he personally coached me. He called me and sent me texts. How's it going? How's your program going? How's your fitness going? How's your eating going? And when I had my stroke, I have 9 children right here. I have a wife and 9 children, and my wife would be a widow and my kids would be fatherless. And I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for a relationship. This is the most important thing that you need to be focusing on right now, is building that network and building those relationships. And Justin, I'm so excited that we're doing this together, and we're going to be able to help a lot of people. And I can't wait.
Absolutely. And you know, it was so cool that it was all organic. I literally reached out to Christopher and I just said, hey man, I'm going to send you a ton of business because I know that what you do is so powerful. It's worked for me. And I know that this is going to be a very integral, if not the first step in the process to developing these Dream One connections. And then you got so excited. I remember the phone call. You're like, I want to be a part of it. I'm like, well, let's do it, man. So here we are. We're blowing the cover off. We're letting everybody know we'll probably be here tomorrow night and the next night and the next night until the masterclass starts. That's on Wednesday is when it's going to start. So head on over to One Connection Away, and it's for free. And right now it's free because it's on ClickFunnels 2.0, and I haven't. My team, this first funnel we've ever built 2.0, we haven't figured out how to charge anybody anything. So head over now while we can't figure out how to get the connections on the merchant account and get signed up. And I promise you, the 4 hours plus that we spend with the guests and the celebrities and the insights and the secrets and the stories are going to absolutely blow your mind. I promise you. Money back guaranteed for all $0 that you spend. I'll give you $1 back if you are blown away by all the stories. So thanks so much, Christopher, for inspiring me and wanting to do this together. I couldn't think of a better partner. I can't wait to share all these stories and secrets and truly help people scale their businesses and their lives like crazy with just a little help, just a few insights. So any final words before we head out this beautiful, whatever day it is, Thursday?
When you put your head on your pillow tonight and you're staring up at the ceiling, the lights are off in the room or wherever you're sleeping, think big. Think of who is that person? Who is that person that I would just dream to be able to, like Justin said, look me in the eye and say, tell me about what you do, and have that opportunity with them. Don't think small. We want you to think big. And if you do that, we'll show you how to get that big. And I just can't wait. So yeah, next Wednesday, the 16th, that's when it's all happening. We're going to talk about this every single day. You're going to learn a ton. We got some amazing people coming in. Justin and I are going to be there. You can't get any more amazing than that. And we're going to teach you how we do this.
Absolutely. And the thing is that people are going to go to this masterclass, and some people are going to apply it right away. And by Christmas, they are going to be having conversations with their Dream One, and their businesses are going to explode in 2023. So make sure you show up, you learn these insights, you learn these secrets. The only way you can show up is by signing up. So go over to oneconnectionaway.com, get signed up. It's all free until we figure out how to do 2.0. And we can't wait to see you there, and we'll probably see you with some more things. So come next week. Like Christopher said, just think about who your Dream One is. That's step one. And then mark your calendars Wednesday, November 16th, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, we will do a 4+ hour masterclass on connecting you with your dream one.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. Awesome to be here.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you real soon. I'm heading over to Ken Walls, Grow Live.